A few years back, during a very cold winter, fortunately we're not getting those anymore, hopefully, okay, there was an elderly couple who was found frozen to death in an unheated apartment. And, there was a big cry, there ought to be a law. And then another time, the IRS sought to evict a family, an elderly couple, from their home because they weren't able to pay their taxes. And again, the response was, there ought to be a law. We hear that very frequently. And we hear more often of children who sit hungry through the day at school because there's very little food at home for them, or because there's no one there to even feed them. And once again we say, there ought to be a law. But fortunately, we're making some progress on that issue. But my friends, what I'm here to tell you this morning is there already is a law, okay? A law with greater power and force than any human code. It's the law of love, the law of compassion, and of unbridled charity proclaimed in that gospel passage which I just read. It's the most perfect of laws, one which could never permit frozen or evicted grandparents or hungry children. Such tragedies occur because human law, for all of its good intent, remains imperfect and falls far short of justice and truth. Jesus' laws demand of us justice and love in our treatment of all people, especially the smallest, the hungriest of all. In that gospel passage which I just read, Jesus gives us a new ethic of love. To love God is to recognize the necessity of compassion. To love God is to immerse oneself in works of mercy, which house, clothe, and embrace every person. The temple building has been replaced by the temple of the human person as the focus which gives integrity to our worship. How we view God is really how we view our neighbor. The person who claims to love God and yet hates his neighbor is really just a liar. Okay? The call of Jesus to love with one's whole heart, mind, and soul is a simply reflection of the very love which our God holds for each one of us. The God who loves us is asking that we too love all of God's people. It's not always an easy task, we know that, okay? Sometimes it can be very challenging, but no one ever said it was supposed to be easy. And so as we listen to these gospel readings today, we ask ourselves, how well are we responding in care and concern for one another and for all of God's people?